Pow! Hey everybody, welcome to the last track feedback of 2022. What is happening? So to bring it in, we're playing a little ambient music from our friend Taib, who shared this track with us called Wake. And pow! Turn off my monitor screen. Hey Taib, what's up? I'm playing your track Wake right now. Scott Burke in the PST time zone. What's up everybody? So this is track feedback. It's December 30th. It's almost New Year's, and we're going to run through a couple tracks, talk a little bit about next year, and basically just connect and say hi. I love track feedback, this weekly meeting. I was thinking about it that, during the pandemic, people started doing things differently. Like a lot of people started working remotely, which was working from home. And that was interesting. Some people started streaming on Twitch every week and made like a whole entire new career with Twitch and raids and all kinds of stuff happening. And some people built DJ careers off of those bookings. And what I did was basically go heavy into video, where I started doing weekly live streams for track feedback. I started teaching my courses, just directly teaching online on YouTube, and then giving people a place to sign up and download live packs and session lessons and stuff. And it has turned into this really interesting community that I could not have expected it was going to happen this way. And I'm really happy it's been going on. It grew a lot. It's great. DJ Waters is here. Oh, Randy, I got your track lined up. We got Shepherds. So I'm glad everybody's here. Today I'm going to show you the new subscriptions are ready to display, and I'll tell you what that is all about and what to expect. And we've got some track feedback video reviews individually. Basically, the main thing that's going to be different is that I'm going to stop doing 2-hour-long live streams where I review like 15 or 20 tracks in a rush with SoundCloud compressed audio and YouTube compressed streaming. Instead, what I'm going to do is have people send me tracks as audio. I'll review them in a private video with full quality sound and send that back that you can listen to when you want, with comments in writing to get help with your tracks, and also keep the whole community benefit. It's going to be super cool. It's like keeping the best of everything we've done in track feedback and letting me raise my prices a bit and stop being totally overloaded with so many tracks every week, because that's been difficult, and I don't want to be doing stressed out reviews. I want to be feeling good about music and sharing my own music too in the group. So I got a couple goals for 2023. The main thing is that music is leadership, honestly. When you are the DJ, you play the track, everybody's inside it. It's like water. It's like if everybody's underwater and you're the one supplying the water, you don't want to pee in the pool. You know, people, you can't blink your ears. Whatever music is happening is going to go straight in and activate the subconscious, because our ears are just open. It's like a completely open channel. It's incredibly powerful to have an audience listening to your music. So what I'm focusing on for 2023 is just this concept that when we put out the vibe, we bring people into our musical universe and they come with us. So you want your musical universe to be good. Doesn't matter what universe you're in, hardcore, ambient, chill out, whatever. You're setting an envelope of sound that people are going to be inside of. And that's something that you need to protect their vibes, even if you're doing hard beats. It's got to be continuous and smooth. Oh, SoundCloud ads. This is why I like playing tracks from Discord. And the feedback is so empowering. Yeah. All right, so what do we have here? Let's make sure. I'm going to have to close that Discord window.
Book today at Southwest.
Shut up today and don't talk to me. All right. Air Energy, Fake It. So we're going to start off with a track from Richie Rich. Richie, where are you at? Are you in the UK? I'm not sure what your location is. There's like a 45-second delay. And thanks everybody for joining in during your holiday break. Hope you're having a good time with the people who are important to you. I want to hear about what everybody's doing for New Year's too. I got some plans of my own, but if you got any gigs, let us know. If you have anything streaming, we'd love to see it. Or if you're doing a show, please record some video, take pictures of the venue, the sound system, the crowd, the lighting, the DJ booth. I want to see what it's like where you're at, and just see like, and the ultimate video would be if you can play one of your own tracks and show a video of the crowd reacting. I would love to see that, just a 30-second video. Or if you're playing a track from somebody in the group or somebody we know, I would love to see a video of the audience going crazy with the track that was made by somebody we know. That would be super fun. Shepherds. All right, now we can begin. So let's start off with Air Energy from Richie Rich. Here we go. And I'm going to scroll this up so we can see the time on. Okay, so this is a track feedback example of what you get when we do a video. I'm going to review 3 things: the sound design, the song structure, and the mix. And I know I'm talking over the track. Don't worry. Sound design is to make sure your track sounds original and has transitions and stuff. Song structure is about leading to a climax with build-ups, peaks, and drops. And then the mix, of course, is the mix to drop some bass. Bring out my broadcast level a little bit. All right, there's the level. Let me just start this over so we can hear the whole intro. I like that little high frequency thing on top of the kick drum. Beep, beep, beep. That was cool. And it kicks in 30 seconds. Okay, that was probably a 32 bar intro. Looks like 140 BPM, is that right? Vocal sounds okay so far. I heard a little drum roll back there. I'm going to rewind back to 50 something. Okay, a lot of comments are coming at you. So there was a little bass dive bomb, that impact that went goof. That maybe was a bit muddy, or could there be more of like a thump transition on it? It sounded like a woof, kind of a soft, deep thing. It might be better if that had like a layered kick drum bump, like a specific impact, like you're dropping a heavy rock instead of a heavy blanket. But you won't stop chasing. Hey Ben, happy New Year. Okay, the vocal's a little bit buried right now. Kick drum is clear, that's good. Let me bring down my broadcast level a little bit. Yeah, Shepherds, the beat is very evolved. Like, there's a lot of layers in the beat right now. Let's see how it develops. I like the drum programming a lot. It's interesting and I can feel the song sections happening. Let me pause here so I'm not competing against the vocal. We don't want any frequency masking between me and the singer. So it feels like the mid-range instruments are really busy. There's a lot of like the synth leads, the like jing, 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 jing happening. The vocal got a little bit buried. So the first time we heard the vocal, it was pretty clear. It felt like it was in the center and loud enough to hear it. But then as all the other stuff came in, the vocal sort of got pushed back. So that's something that could need some volume adjustment on the basic other synth layers. And then also the like the low end, right? The kick drum is clear. I can hear individual kick beats, which is the most important thing. The bass line that's in between going dum da da da, that is not quite as clear. So it feels like the low end, like the sub bass level, might have too much kind of sub pressure. Let's keep listening. Martin, hey. Those little drum rolls could be louder at 215. Digga, 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 digga. They only happen once in a while. It's okay for them to really pop out. This is cool sound design. Definitely spacey. I like this part. Yeah, all those drum rolls and tom fills should be way louder, like cracking through the mix and then disappear and be quiet. All right, building some tension. Yeah, vocal's not loud enough right here. I like the effects on the synth stack. A lot of bouncing around. This is a good picture of the synth stack. 320. Wow, David, hey! Congratulations on your releases recently. David Fidele. Okay, comment on the drum break. I hear a background beat that's going doo-doo-k, doo-doo-k. That's like a breakbeat thing layered in there. That is super cool too, and I would like to hear that louder. So basically, the number one thing that you're gonna fix on this one is take your synth stack and bring the volume down. I'm not sure how technically advanced you are with routing and everything, but if you could take like the whole synth layers, lead, chords, the delay FX and everything like that, if you could put that into a group and then have the vocal sidechain it so the synths are ducking a little bit as the vocal's happening, I think that would help because the general thing is that the vocal is getting lost, the synth stack is really loud, and then the drum breaks, the tom rolls, that kind of stuff is also getting buried. So if I hear a bunch of sounds that are all kind of getting lost, it usually means something else is too loud and those other ones are needing to come up. In general, if you have a sound that doesn't happen very often, like a drum break, that can be really loud, like exaggerated, because that's going to disappear and get out of the way. And something like a kick drum and sub bass should be kind of balanced and consistent so they stay at the same like pressure level. Good comment from Shepherds and DJ Waters. Yeah, for trance, the breakdowns and drops are too busy. Shepherds is saying a lot of masking and elements fighting for the same range. So frequency masking means two sounds happening in the same frequency where one of them is masking the other, like covering it up. And I'm trying to give you some tips on how to open that up by bringing back the volume of the synth stack, because it's not going to get lost. Nobody's going to be like, where's the synth? It's going to still be there. Just don't have it like dominating the mid-range and wiping out the cool drum breaks and vocal. This is cool. The quietness, the build-up. I believe in love. Make that louder. Okay, now the good news is, pull down my broadcast level. The good news is, this is basically playable. I mean, if you have a dance floor full of people who are losing their mind, you can put this in. The kick drum works, the synth stack works. It sounds like the trance genre. So you could play this in a set. It would be okay. What we want to do is take it from a 75%, like, hey, you can play this rough draft, take it up to like 99% ready for mastering. So that's the kind of level you're at. This is not like a disaster or fatal errors. It's like, okay, needs some work. Chris Circuit, how you doing? Now we're into like the ending section, bass and drums kind of thing. I would like to hear the bass line more clearly, so the kick and the bass are like boom da boom da boom da, really up and down, instead of having the sub bass feel like a big whoa whoa whoa. Yeah, Morton Mindbender, I agree. If you play it on a big system, it's going to be like a wall of mush coming at you without the separation of the sounds. Drum programming is cool though, a lot of details, the track stays interesting, doesn't feel like a long loop, it feels like there's always stuff changing and happening, so song structure is getting a thumbs up. And now... the tails got cut off, we got dropped off a cliff. This is my favorite comment. It's so easy to fix this. The mistake here is that when you were exporting it, you took the loop brace and dragged the end of it on the right side to the end of like the MIDI clips or whatever in the arrangement, but you didn't drag it long enough to let the reverbs and delays die down. So everybody in replay land or wherever you are, when you're exporting a track, go to like the end of the track where you think it stops and drag your loop, the selector thing, like 10 seconds longer, because those tails that fade out are really important. And if you go to get your track mastered and there's that like cliff where it drops off, what they're going to have to do is make a fade sooner. and you basically lose the mix out or you lose the cool little details. When I'm DJing, it's really fun to make a mix that's so good that you can play all the way to the end of the last track, and as it's fading out, you turn it up louder and louder and louder, so those effects kind of wash over the beat drop of the next track coming in. And if that sounds like this, where you're like da, 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 and it just stops, it's going to sound like a mistake, and people will be like, "What the hell? My mix! I had to rush the mix because the tails got cut off." The real point here is you never know when your rough mix export is going to be a playable finished track. It's going to happen someday. You're going to export a track and be like, "Oh my god, this is so good! I'm getting it mastered." And if it happens and you have a track that's good enough to get mastered, but you cut off the tails, you're screwed. It's annoying. It's not good. So again, this is not a fatal error to kill your track, but make it a habit of self-discipline to export something and tell yourself, this might be the final version. It might be good enough. I'm going to do that extra little effort, export the whole reverb tail and delay tail, because maybe, someday it's going to be a keeper. That's what I'm trying to say. Always be thinking this next export could be good enough to get to the final version. Randy Adams is here. We're going to play your track too. So, Richie, this is overall a really good track. You got to work on the synth grouping. There was a part, I think, at 320 where we could see mainly the synths with no drums, and it was pretty thick. Let's see if I can find that right here. Vocals not showing up. The synths have a lot of mid-range. We can see the bass down there. Okay, so when you have like just the synth elements and the bass filling up the whole frequency range fully, it's kind of like saying, oh, there isn't a lot of space for other stuff. So that could take some decision making where you got to go to your synth stack, carve out some EQ at the place where the vocal's happening, and do some vocal sidechain ducking to compress the synths and make space for the vocal. When you do that and you solo all the synths, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's all missing cool stuff. But when you play it all together again, it's actually not going to be missing. It should sound a little weird when you solo an instrument group and the vocal's not there. It should sound like, oh, it's kind of missing some of the fullness and that awesome vibe of the synth. That's a sacrifice you got to make. You can't have every sound as loud as everything else in the mix, or else you get mush. DJ Waters is asking for the stems. Be careful. He's he'd do something cool with it. One more time, I want to just review the end of the track to hear what that kick and bass line are doing. The kick is independent and clear. That's good. But what I'm not getting completely clearly is the upbeat of the bass notes. So the bass would be like da 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 da. That's not totally clear. I can hear the kick going boof boof, and then the bass stuff is like boof oof oof. It's sort of like a womb sort of thing. And for trance, it's nice to have like a super crisp rhythm on the upbeats. So the overall rhythm is going boom da da boom da da boom da da boom da da, like that. I know I'm like acting it out, right? But that's what I hear in your track. So I hope that's helpful. I try to give specific detailed tips on every track with timestamps so you know where we're hearing the sounds. We talk about sound design because you have to sound original. That includes tweaking sounds in the mix. Remember, the best transitions come from hearing a sound that's in the track, and then it starts to morph, and it sounds like somebody's tweaking knobs, because that's what we do with electronic music. For song structure, we want to hear variation, repetition. It's got to keep interesting all the way through and hit a climax. So the basic song structure map is intro, climax, outro. If you can do that and go up the mountain and come down the mountain, that's going to be cool. And people are going to want to play it again to get the feeling of the drop when they fall off the cliff and free fall, adrenaline, all that stuff. And then the mix, the stereo field was good on this one. The frequency range we talked about, it did not sound too much like it was over compressed, but it did sound loud. So I'm wondering if you did some master channel kind of export stuff. And then, of course, the tops and tails, the details. Don't cut off the end of the reverbs when you export. Make sure you keep your full fade out of the effects units you're using, because you never know when the track you're playing is going to become a final version. So nice job, Richie. Bring that back and check out our subscription for Track Feedback Crew, which is going to be low price and awesome and opening on January 1st. I'll talk about that more in a second. I want to play something from a friend, Erastus. This is a friend from Pittsburgh who came to a live hardware synth jam we organized with the Ableton users group in Pittsburgh. And he's doing some Euro rack stuff. So it's not an Ableton production, but he had a cool question. I want to learn more about handling vocals. I don't hate it enough to quit yet. That's a common feeling of like, oh my God, I want to delete everything. This sucks. Listen, don't delete everything. Keep going. It'll get better. Oh, Ian, cool. Comment. I would drop some of the kicks, just have the vocals as a build up and a snare roll into the drop, then slam it in hard. Yeah, listening to other trance tracks to get the format of how the snare rush happens and things like that is always useful. So let's check out this Wayfaring Stranger jam and see what it sounds like. EQ flat. This is a low level output, so I'm gonna turn this one up. I like the overhand cam version. You can kind of see he's tweaking stuff. I am a poor wayfaring stranger. And so there was a good comment about too much LFO on the vocals. Okay, Richie, cool. Okay, I don't want to talk over vocals, but two things right away. The vocal is okay, but when it comes in with that heavy, choppy LFO effect going, it's a bit distracting. Now, that's a really cool effect that could get us to like totally trip out in trance, but that should happen later. So for song structure in the beginning, introduce the vocal kind of clear so we can just hear, oh, this is a vocal. I hear the lyrics. I know what it's saying. I feel the soul coming through the voice. Then tweak the effects deeper later. Kick drum is a bit loud, out of proportion, where the vocal sounded kind of quiet. Now we got some bleeps happening. Let's let this roll. How long is this track? 5 minutes, good. That's awesome. Tweaking knobs, hearing the sound change. That's a great sound design. I would like some delay on this vocal. So vocal louder, hit it with some delay so it's kind of spacey and hanging over the bleeps. That, in terms of mix tools, that bleep sound is very cool. It's going, that's a cool sound. It's louder than the vocal and it's louder than other stuff happening. This is easy. This is an easy mistake to make with modular stuff because hardware synths can have a huge dynamic range. What I would try to do is get at least a stereo compressor across the whole mix so that as you're bleeping and blipping, nothing is popping out super crazy loud, if possible. Matt Schultz, hello. This sounds cool right here. Not a bad mix. Those are dirty sounds, man. I mean that in a good way. Nice bass. That is cool. That's not a bad mix. I can hear the different instrument layers and they're all kind of hanging together now. So another characteristic thing of hardware jams is that they usually end up in a different place from where they start off. And you kind of have to wait until all the sounds are in and then adjust the mix to get a sense of what's happening because you're improvising it. Chris Circuit, love the sound design. Shepard is looking for a 4/4. So what would that be like if it was like... I agree, a 4/4 kick would make it more kind of steady and exciting instead of like ambient thumps. Yeah, definitely cool sound design. And it is hard to bring in vocals on a live jam, especially because you can't hear yourself exactly the same way as the audience is hearing it. But as for the question, trying to learn more about handling vocals, it's all about what your input is. So you want to have your voice, have your mic input, like the mic trim or head amp gain. You want to have that up as loud as you can to get a loud vocal coming into the signal. Now, if you're in the studio in headphones, that's one thing. If you're on stage at a club, that's another thing. It's pretty hard to get your mic sounding right in a DJ booth with a loud DJ monitor, and you're standing behind the stacks and you can't hear what's coming out the front. It's hard. It's not easy to mix a mic onto a live set. So that's a challenge right there of just understanding what you're hearing. The best thing to do is to get your mic level set, looking at the, hit the PFL switch and see what level is coming in and make sure you're hearing the right thing. Also, I use a gate on my mic. I don't know if you can hear, if I turn this off. I don't know if you can hear the background. My background's pretty quiet now, thank goodness. But having a gate on your mic input is really powerful to cut out the background noise and make it so that only when you intentionally talk, sing, say something or whatever, then the mic opens, the sound comes through, and then the gate closes it. That's probably the best advice I can say for doing a mic on top of a live electronic jam. And then after that, mic processing, what you're saying, effects and everything are kind of part of your song structure, and it's up to you to put that in a way that sounds cool. In general, for this track, I think the vocals came in too soon and too wet. So I would build up the track with the layers a little bit more, longer duration, then come in with the vocals to tell the story of what you're saying. And as the vocals are happening, like section 1, just do the lyrics in the verse sort of dry. I mean, like maybe with some delay on it, but not as much LFO, like wah, 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 wah. Then after we've heard it once through, then just repeat the same thing, but make the effects wetter and wetter so the voice morphs and becomes a sound in the mix that's just like this trippy sound instead of like a second verse and a third verse. Because with electronic music, you don't need verse, chorus, and you don't need constantly different verses in a long story like you would sing together at a pub or something like that. You can have just one word be the whole lyrics or one phrase that repeats and gets glitched out or, tweaked out or something like that. So that's my opinion on vocals on live electronic music. Hey, Oliver's here. Cool comments. Yeah, looking for a kick and a snare. Cool, good comments. All right, let's keep moving on. We got a bunch of other tracks I wanted to look at. And Erastus, let us know if you see this on the replay, what you might do for edits to bring back another version, because I'd be into hearing another version of this. Going down. Let's go right into the house section. Ben Hunt, I hope you're able to check this, but we got the Sermon V1 and just put this one together today. Might need some advice on where to take it. Chugging house groove with a preacher-esque vocal on top from Luke Cloud. Try to keep it simple, build on the groove. What else could need to perk it up? Okay, EQ is flat. Let's see what we got. Wow, nice. Let me check that broadcast level. Oh, I love that clap. Right away, I'm feeling that bass line. Boom, 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 boom. I like the bass line rhythm a lot. It's kind of like just syncopated a bit. Go, boom, boom. Yeah, Shepherds, that last track was begging for a techno 4/4 kick kind of vibe. So Ben, are we at 114 BPM right here? A little slow groover, cool. Drinking coffee with coconut milk. Let's get our timer on screen. I love it that we do not have SoundCloud ads on Discord. Nice sweep, nice transition, bring it in. Let me do that one more time. Nice transition to sweep and then change.
When we feel that beat, when we see all those faces, I'm talking about black and white, no barrier, no age, no color, just joy. All my brothers and sisters supposed to be. Like they say, where I come from, supposed to be.
Okay. Hardcore comment. I think the bass line changed at the wrong moment. The intro bass line was super cool and syncopated and interesting. Then when the vocal came in, the hi-hat shuffle came in, and the bass line changed. So in my opinion, the bass line changed too soon. What I would do is all the way up to 157, keep the original bass line, because we're hearing new stuff. We're hearing a vocal, we're hearing a hi-hat shuffle, the percussion groove is building up, and it's growing, and it's good. I mean, that you actually don't need a different bass line in this track. You could get away with that one bass line and do variations of percussion to make it good enough to be a full track. So I think if we waited until 157 to let the bass line become that new thing, go boom, 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 I think that would work. Joey Beltram, Energy Flash. Yeah. Let me just rewind a little bit. What would happen if we had the opening? Here's the opening bass line. What would happen if that continued longer? Here's the opening bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. It's awesome up to here. And then yeah, at 109 when the new bass line note comes in at 109, my first feeling was like, oh, the bass line got all muddy. I wasn't really expecting a bass line change, like a harmonic change. And so it struck my ears as kind of strange. It felt like at 157 it was the right moment. Now why is that?
We play it like it's supposed to be. Like they say, where I come from, supposed to be.
Now here, boom, 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 boom. To me, this feels like the right place for a harmonic shift at this point in the song. Oh, Ben, I just saw your comment. You made the opening bass line variation later. Okay. What's up? DJ Waters, yes, it could go faster. It works like this, but it could go faster. Right here, I love this bass line. This variation is good, but it's like a B section. Yeah.
But you know what's
right.
important?
No, okay, 305.
What we bring in it.
Whoa. 305, go back to the original bass line. So we have this thing where when the vocal is happening, the bass line gets simple and we can hear the vocal and it's almost like we're waiting. And then when the vocal is done, we drop back into that I'll call it the harmonic shift bass line or the chord progression bass line. It's not a chord progression, but that would give you a simple structure. We have intro and vocal, drop into the moving bass line, and then the intro bass line with the vocal, and then drop into the like scale motion bass line. Do, do, do. Is that an F sharp? Is that an F minor? I think it's an F minor, yeah. Okay.
Enjoy the music. Those that came before us. Let's honor them with the music. Let's honor them with the love. Let's carry
Let's
on
check mono.
for them. And keep that light in our heart. And I'm not trying to preach.
I like those kick drums.
If we just believe in ourselves, I believe in the universe.
This place, it actually works.
The universe. That's why you gotta keep your mind open.
And then here, 353, back to that bass line. track, man. So when there's a song structure issue, like with the harmonic shift or the notes or something, that's the main thing that I would change. Like when I hear a track where there's something with melody, bassline, chords that is not working optimally, that can be the category of fatal errors where it's like, oh, this track is almost awesome, but now I don't want to play it because it doesn't do what I was like needing it to do. And then back to your 443. Yes, back to the simple bass line. So song structure errors, harmonic things can make people, and this is a general thing, I'm not trying to crush Ben. When there's something that's harmonically not settled in a track, people react badly to that and they just feel like it's like dissonance or it physically doesn't feel right. So fixing song structure stuff is really important to get things harmonically working. Mix problems are usually the easiest to fix because it's kind of a technical thing that you can just kind of pull it into shape and take a good idea and present it through. So the basic thing that we're talking about with this song structure is that it gets complex too soon. Keep the simplicity of bassline 1 for a longer duration, and then you'll have a simple thing of alternating intro bassline, scale motion bassline. And I think, Ben, you probably get the idea. And then this track is going to be banging. I love the hi-hat swing happening, the drum percussion choices, the sounds of drums are cool, the swing, like the... Shepherd's had a comment about transients on the claps. The clap and kick transient slightly clashing on the 2 and the 4. I don't actually notice that, but it's an interesting comment.
When we feel that beat, when we see all those faces, I'm talking about black and white.
Yeah. And then I like the use of space. I wanted to point out this gap right here at 359. Is that here? Nice, sweet, basic transition effects, bringing it back in. Okay, Ben, clap and snare slightly off time. Actually, I didn't notice that and it didn't bother me, so it's cool that Shepherds was able to pick that out. I like the flanger effect happening up here. Ooh, Morton, lower the kick on 2 and 4 would help, yeah. I really like what happened there. Okay, so there was a transition that felt like a buildup coming into 446. What happened to make that sound? This is a production recipe. What I heard happening was the bassline filter opened up, it got buzzier and brighter, and then when the beat dropped, it went back down to like a muted, muffled kind of sound, so it felt like the drop got deeper. Let's just listen to that again. This is a perfect example of using sound design to make a buildup. Okay, check it out. Filters opening up. Three things happening. There was the filter opening to get more high frequency in the bass line. There was a white noise kind of a riser that went whoosh, like a sweep. And then there was a little cymbal thing that was like, psst. So one more time, check out those 3 layers. This is a great illusion where you combine 3 simple sounds that are basic, easy sounds, but you combine them in the right way to create that feeling that's a buildup before a drop. One more time with feeling, people. And then on the drop, there's that new sound. So cool, Ben, this is great. Play around with the bass line and just like, what I would do to start with is in the first 2 minutes, keep the original bass line for the first 2 minutes and see if that works for you. The main challenge is you know the song, you know what to expect, so it's impossible for you to hear it as a fresh listener. That's what track feedback is for. But try that and see if it makes sense to you, and then go from there to possibly edit the later sections. And that's a perfect example of letting the tails fade out. I like this ending. So often the last part of the track is my favorite part, with just the drums and the bass line. And the hi-hat and the kind of jangly chicka 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 chicka. Is that a tambourine? Cha 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 cha. That's a great sound. This is totally enjoyable right here. I could just groove in this with some drum layers and effects and dub and stuff. So don't rush for the second bass line. Really cool. For V1, that's playable and mostly ready. Just that kind of confusion where the bass line came in too soon. It changed without warning. I didn't understand it. I was like, I don't know what to do. My impression. The ride sound a bit overused. Keep that for peak sections, just my taste. Yeah. Good. Okay. Randy Adams coming in. That's a cool ass graphic too. I like that image. What do we got here? My last track for 2022. Oh, I want to thank all of you, especially Steve, for awesome feedback this year. Really awesome to be part of the group and hear everyone's progression and development on their own unique styles. I wish you all a happy new year and no headache. I added that last part. Okay, recycles, what's happening? EQ flat, stereo wide. Get my broadcast level up a little bit. First impression, there was no intro. Right now it sounds like I dropped the needle at the first, like halfway through a record. It's okay though, let's see where it goes. Bassline kind of sounds scratchy and not like a melodic note. It's like that hi-hat is amazing. I like the clap, I like the drum reverb, I like the simplicity. Okay, that open hi-hat would feel good with maybe not so much reverb. Maybe just a little bit quieter. It's a little bit like... All right, Ben. Happy New Year. Happy early New Year. Coma Saufen. Is that like a hangover coma? Headache? Randy, great percussion. That one background sound, I feel a little bit of like frequency buildup like 900 or 1000 hertz. It's a little bit too like papery. Let me EQ the mids a little bit and do a mid-range sweep. There's a boost. So right around there, I'm gonna cut this down. That one sound, that one, that feels like it might be a little too much around 1000 or 900. So if you could soften the texture of that with a little bit of EQ dip in the mid-range, so it's not too like scratchy. Oh my gosh, yeah. I love that swing. Yeah, this open hi-hat volume down just a little bit. Now this bass line. 160 hertz, it's kind of like scraping. It doesn't feel like a clear bass note. feels like it might be centered on the note C.
Let us set off on this journey.
Ooh.
The journey of sound.
Before I talk over vocals, what I would do with that bass line is maybe layer it and get something that has the pitch C, so that as we're in the groove, it's more like boom, 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 because it doesn't have a pitch structure. I can feel that there's a sub kind of like a rumble or something happening, but I think it would help to just give that a little bit more of like a note so that you could have the EQ up on that note and pull out the pitch of that bass line to just reinforce the whole harmonic energy of the track. I think that would be an improvement.
That expression, a sonic adventure, a musical exploration through known and unknown lands we traveled through with no solid plans. We document our trip with song along the way, exploring the textures and emotions, the journey we will portray.
Cool vocal. Let me go back to right here.
Plans. We document our trip with song along the way, exploring the textures and emotions, the journey we will portray.
Okay. You could do a little bit more to create a transition into the beat drop. I like the vocal. It's loud enough and I can hear it, but it could be a little more dramatic. Like he says this word trip, it would be kind of cliche, but you could delay that and go trip, 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 and have it pitch up and get faster and faster. And maybe could you do some kind of sonic tweak right before the beat drops at 402, so we feel like a beat drop is coming in. Even a kick drum roll where it's like boom, 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 poof.
The journey of sound and expression, a sonic adventure, a musical exploration through known and unknown lands we traveled through with no solid plans. We document our trip with song along the way, exploring the textures and emotions, the journey we will portray.
Something like that to just introduce the beat coming back in. Maybe a little cymbal crash on the beat. I like that new sound. That's great. So Randy's like waiting until the last part of the track to introduce that new sound. Great way to keep it interesting for everybody out there in replay land. Don't put all your sounds in at the beginning. Like Richie Rich, it's okay to like have a song that has layers, but you don't hear all the layers until later on. So you got the whole first 1/3 is like intro build up. Second third has the big climax, the big drop. Then the last third is like, oh my gosh, I hear a new sound I didn't hear yet, but it totally fits together. Then if we could take that idea, add in the sub bass with a note C kind of pitch. That's me on the keyboard.
Let us set off on this journey. The journey of sound and expression, a sonic adventure.
Something so the bass line is anchoring the harmony down at that note.
Known and unknown.
It's gonna be killer. This is a great track.
With no solid plans. We document our trip with song along.
Oh wow, so the track is made all in the electron cycles, recorded to Ableton percussion from Machine. That's great, man. It's playable right now. It's amazing for just a quick, like a new track. So I hope these tips are helpful for taking it up to like perfection level, you know? The vibe is totally there. I like this. All right, Ben, thanks for popping in, and thank you for your moderator, genre commander efforts in the group. Ben's one of our moderators on Discord. Thanks, man. Happy New Year. Be safe. Take photos of wherever you end up. We want to see it. At least half dressed. I like this groove, man. Randy, this is totally playable. Can't help playing a little keyboard on there. Ear candy. I like that scratchy thing a lot. Oh, did we cut off the tails just a little tiny bit? Randy. Yeah, I could use another 5 seconds, but I talked about that enough today. Cool, man. So the thing I like, knowing Randy historically, you did not put in too many sounds, or it does not, it feels like it's one track. So we don't have the problem of like a new sound coming in that feels like a separate idea. You know what I mean? The ideas are very coherent. It feels like one track that flows all the way through. Main notes would be to focus the pitch of that sub bass. And you could do that by adding a sine wave sub bass on the note C, same exact rhythm, to just kind of reinforce the pitch of the bass note so that the track harmonically feels together. Maybe bring the vocal up a little bit and then work that transition at the 2/3 point. That's a perfect place for the main climax, like big breakdown, build up, drop. And then the rest of it is don't mess it up. You don't want to overdo your edits or change too much. When the basic track works, keep what works, fix a couple little things, and version 2, version 3 could be mastered. Great. Shepard's highs down and theme up. I'm not sure what you mean by the theme coming up louder, but I get it. Oh yeah, and then Randy, that open hi-hat, the slash hi-hat was a little too loud, but whatever. Those are mixed details. I'm sure you can figure that part out on yourself. So Psytrance Techno, there was nothing from Shepard's. I can't believe it. We heard so many updates. I don't think there was anything right there, but also thanks to, let's stop and thank our Discord moderators. So Shepard's, Ben Hunt, AFL, it's John Madison. I'm not sure he's here today. We got Chris Circuit. We got Danats, Adam Hatfield, and James Sargent are one of our original moderators from the Facebook group. And then me, I'll consider myself a moderator. Those are your 7 people, genre commanders. Each one of us makes our own style of tracks. We are in the Discord group. And my goal for the moderating team is to read every comment and make sure every person gets some kind of a reply or acknowledgement of what's happening with their track. Of course, there's the basic moderation of like check for crazy arguments or spam or porn or whatever, but that doesn't happen in Discord. That happened in Facebook. We took care of it. Now in Discord, we have had like so few problems. It's really amazing. The quality of this group, I love it. The community is so supportive and encouraging. We have a wide range of styles, and people even get to know each other and kind of can tell like, oh, this one person always does this. Let's pull them back a little bit from that. And I really appreciate the work that everybody's putting in, and thank you to our moderator crew. Let's keep going. Before I talk about upcoming subscriptions and what's different, I want to play tracks from people who were here. This track, I was listening to this in the kitchen with Maria yesterday, and she was like, oh, she gave in some comments. So let's hear what we got. EQ flat, stereo wide, broadcast level, Mindbender. Gotta bring it down. Oh, Shepard's. Okay, so you're talking about the volume of the vocal louder for Randy. Thank you. Six-minute jam. I don't care how long this stream goes. I want to play tracks. I want to talk and hang out and celebrate the beginning of New Year's. Let me remember my comments. Chris Circuit, great timestamps. Look at that. Woof. I think 255 was my only criticism of like, I kind of wasn't sure what was happening. Yeah, Shepard's, that was interesting to parked around 123 BPM. This kind of music is all about the filter sweeps. Oh, that delay is beautiful. It's kind of a pregnant pause, as they say. Bala bala. that Mindbender low end. Is there a vocal slice in here? I think there was a part I thought. Yeah, 345. There's a vocal coming in. So far, it's like a perfect acid track, building up nice, deep, good mix. Check mono. That's the vocal, right? Gibber, gibber, gibber. Okay. When I go to mono, I feel like the effects disappear a little bit, so check your phase coherence on your delay and reverbs. This is pretty much the only mistake Mindbender makes more than once, is a little too, like, phase problems with the effects. Some claps for DJ Waters. I like the snap here, like, I gotta be careful not to turn this up too loud. So, Morton, what is that vocal sample we're hearing? It almost sounds like a record, like with a pitch warp, like Europe. Good ear candy. Good kick and sub right here. Can hear the sub bass clearly, hear the kick drum. They're in their own space. I like that high frequency thing. There we go. That's another example of a great build-up happening from a sound that's already in the mix that you tweak with a live knob with a real person tweaking it, and then filter sweep, drop the kick drum. It pretty much always works. I like this background synth that's going like. Super cool sounds. Okay, Matt, noisy hi-hat around 4 minutes. Perfect mix out, ready to bring in a new record right here. Check mono. Stereo. Mono. Okay, so maybe there might be some phase stuff happening with the effects. Otherwise, we're in good shape. I like that ending. Let's just go back to 4 minutes. What is Matt talking about? Oh, this hi-hat thing. It's like a ride. Well, I think it's basically working. I like this percussion right here. All right, I want to keep it moving so we get a couple more tracks in. Morton, nice job. Check the phase on your effects and all that. And Shepard's saying acid line is too loud, though. We've had that comment a bunch with the acid leads in Mindbender tracks where on the one hand, it's stylistic where it's all about a loud resonant filter going, getting all wet and buzzy. And that's the main character. So that makes sense. But if that becomes too bright and too high in the mids, it can take over more of the space in the mix. So that's kind of a delicate balance that is genre related. So cool. All right, let's move on. Ben Hunt, you give me what? No Life Vox Mix 3. Did we play this last time? Okay, we did feedback, take out some of the boom, lifted the highs, more crack. I think we reviewed this one last week. So yeah, I'm not going to do this one again. I'm going to play a little Chris Circuit, who's been doing some amazing video renders with responsive videos, and I don't even know how she does that, but it's super interesting. This song came from a jam after the most bizarre conversation about art and guerrilla gardening. Guerrilla gardening, like planting flowers and things in places where you don't own the land. How about that? SoundCloud. Ooh, turn this up. Ah, nice kick drum by itself right away. Okay, Chris, just a jam, 6 minutes. Kick drum is beautiful. The background synth could be a little louder, but we're at the intro, so let's see where it goes. I have only the flattened sounds to work with, so you're just working with basically audio stems. I'm curious, what guerrilla gardening ideas did you come up with? Like growing moss on the side of a building or something?
Yeah, so that was like a totally random conversation. What is the difference between art and guerrilla gardening?
Whoa.
Could art be considered guerrilla gardening?
Okay.
What if what you plant isn't what you really thought you would plant? Kind of an analogy, I suppose, but totally random.
Those synths sound like thoughts. What if? What if this? Maybe? That's so cool. The stereo effect of those sounds and the way they go with the vocal, it actually feels like those sounds are questions popping up in your mind. What about that? That's interesting. Yeah, the clap, I agree, Matt. Clap could be louder. Vocal could be a little louder. I like the vocal delay. And I like how the kick is just holding it steady. Bass music. Okay, the bass, whatever the sub bass kind of frequency thing that came in right here, this needs to be louder. Whoa. Kind of the same thing that Randy had in his track, like a low, deep growl. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But I can't quite identify what note it's playing or what it's doing, so that little bass thing could be louder. Now this sounds like proper techno theme. Yeah, the hi-hats could be a little louder. Let me give it some high shelf EQ. There's a lot of cool stuff in the high frequency we could hear more of. And the song structure, obviously it's a jam, so it's not like planned out and thought out, but it keeps me in there. I mean, that kick drum is so just deep and hypnotic by itself. That sound is a little loud compared to everything else, but it makes sense that it's in the track here. good filter motion. And then this little synth could be a little louder. Where does this track go? Into the breakdown. Okay, there's that low thing.
It wasn't random. It wasn't random. It wasn't
That's a low shelf boost. That sound, if that could be louder in between the kick drums, it would be great. Oh, right here. Freaking minimal. High shelf boost. And that background percussion, tick, 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 a little louder. This is a cool track. This is a cool style. I would like to see more tracks like this, hearing your voice with random thoughts and different drum sounds and beats, and then some responsive videos. That is a cool whole live set. This could be like a whole artistic concept. You could totally do a show projecting video of these sounds and then have your set list be like 3 phrases on a piece of paper that you just read and improvise with the delay effects on your mic. Like the Erastus track we heard earlier. That's super interesting when it's done right. And what I like about electronic music with vocals is like when a person can kind of say what everybody's thinking and you just sort of say it out loud, but we're all thinking it. Like, what if this? Or, oh, you know. Good sounds. And coming in for a landing. Chris Circuit getting claps. That is an interesting track. It's playable as it is, and it really sparks a lot of ideas. I like the vocal and the concept of it. I'm not sure how much more you want to do with this one, but in general, if you could do more like this and go in this direction, the elements that are making it work are big, huge, beautiful kick drum that we just want to keep listening to, like I'm going to do right now. Adjust the mix on the drums so it feels more like a minimal techno mix reference. Vocal a little bit louder, and that sub bass thing that comes in. Well, I gave you the mix notes already, but this is cool. Shepherd's gotta go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guten Rutsch. All right, so while this is on, let me take a second and flip over to what we are doing for subscriptions and track feedback. So the basic concept is the Discord subscription is going to be low priced for everybody to get into all the track feedback channels where we trade comments. You can post unlimited tracks, and this is like the new track feedback crew. I do not guarantee that I'll review your track every week, so I'd like to review version 1 mixes and new releases when the track is finally done. We're going to have the volume of tracks coming through eventually that I can't promise I review every track on video like I used to do up until recently. But I think for $5 a month, that is a great deal to get into all of our Discord channels with moderators, genre-specific channels. You can post music in a channel with people who get your concept and give you feedback on your kind of music. We're going to continue doing the live streams every week where I review tracks, talk about them, give mix tips, give production advice, give encouragement for people's music. Maybe I could blast through the new versions. And, you know, if you have an update, maybe we could play a few minutes of it. But I just want to make it clear, I'm not going to promise that I review your track on video when you subscribe. I'll do as many reviews as I can each week. Like this week, you know, I'd like to keep the stream to less than an hour. The main thing is that in the live stream, we can hang out, see each other, trade comments, and hear some new music. And then most of the feedback will happen with writing in timestamps. In writing with timestamps in the Discord channels. We have access to our shared Ableton racks, which is a folder where people are uploading instruments and effects racks that they make, or Max for Live devices that we can share and play with. So when you subscribe, you get access to that. The voice channel hangouts on Discord, that's going to be a Discord channel where you can just plug up your mic and camera and enter and have a hangout with whoever else is there. It's not scheduled. It can be improvised. You can screen share some of your music, like Alex B was doing earlier. And a couple other things, support for your releases when you have a DJ set, new release, single, EP, album, whatever. We can help promote that and celebrate it with you, and just you'll have an audience of people who are into that kind of thing. And then Mixotexture Records will be putting out more compilations and even individual artist releases that you can submit your music for review and publication on that record label. So basically, this is going to open up on January 1st. The main thing is that when I add all the other channels into this exclusive channels list, what's going to happen is everybody in Discord now is going to lose access. So when you see all these channels in the track feedback section for DNB, downtempo, electro, hip hop, house, techno, all these things, when I add these into the subscription, everybody in the track feedback crew right now is going to lose access. So I'm waiting till the last day of December. I'm going to bump all these into the paid thing, and everybody in the crew is going to have to resubscribe to get into that. So the moderators are going to be included automatically. Don't you worry about that. But everybody else, in order to continue posting tracks, trading comments, getting comments on your music, you will need to subscribe to the track feedback crew on Discord to get into those channels again. And to subscribe, go to the top where it says server subscriptions, click that little thing. I just stopped the music. And here is where you can click the button to subscribe. It's going to show you this exclusive channels list is going to have all of the channels, house, techno, hardcore, acid, breakbeat, everything is going to be in there, and a little reminder of what benefits are included. So that is the news about subscriptions. And the other thing is when you want detailed video feedback to help you out, I've set up a new product called Track Feedback Video Review. Just like I do, you can see in this picture, just like I do on YouTube that I've been doing for 2-hour-long streams and everything. Now you can order a custom review of your track. That's a 15-minute video where I talk about sound design, song structure, and the mix to evaluate the critical things that has to happen. Your track has to sound original, it has to go somewhere to a climax, and the mix has to drop some bass. So you get specific tips to help you do that with recommendations on EQ and compression. The difference is now I'm not going to be reviewing a track on SoundCloud. You're going to send me an audio file, full quality WAV or AIFF file that I can review in live. I can do EQing and compression or whatever with live devices on a video, privately delivered from Vimeo that you can download and keep. You're going to get timestamps in writing, special low-end evaluation with the kick and sub like we always talk about, screen share in Live 11, delivery on Discord so I can share. I'd like to share the link in Discord so you can watch it there. Other people can watch it if they want to. If you need a private review for like a track you're going to have like licensed somewhere else, I can deliver it by email. You don't have to be a member of Discord for this, but it's more fun if you are. Does it take PayPal? Matt, I think it does. Yes, I think. Please try it and let me know. I'm not 1,000,000% sure if Discord does take PayPal, but maybe I can answer that right now. Subscribe, payment, PayPal. Yes. PayPal is working. Good, the processes are hooked up. So individual track feedback review, frequently asked questions. Can I submit uncompressed audio? Yes. How long will it take to get my video? 7 days within a week. How long can my track be? Maximum 8 minutes. If you're doing longer than that, let me know first. Is it for Ableton Audio? You can submit tracks from anything like the live Eurorack stuff. Recommendations are going to be in Ableton because that's what I use, and I'll give you tips using stock plugins. Can I submit my whole Ableton project? No, this is only a 2-track stereo audio file. I'm not going to try and open up your whole project with your plugins and instruments and everything and audio files because it's too complicated and too much. That's a different thing. So this is only video review of an audio file. Can we submit a link? I'd like to be able to download your audio so I can hear the full quality thing. I don't want to try and review SoundCloud audio where you're missing high frequencies and it's not the total thing. Genres, most people watching this know already. We're doing electronic music with bass, a lot of house and techno, some chill out, acid, down tempo. We don't do a lot of dubstep, hip hop, trap, that kind of thing. I'm open to that, but it's not what our community is really focused on. So that's just kind of a word for that. I don't mind specializing in house and techno and some trippy other stuff. Yes, Randy, can you get a single video feedback? Let me get to the point. Single video, this is priced $30 for a single track feedback video review. That means you get a 15-minute video, might be 15, might be 20. You get a link to your video, written timestamp comments. When I post it in Discord, you can ask me questions and get answers in writing. So I'll be here to exchange comments after you get your video. It's a one purchase, it's not a subscription. And I know people like to do updates and get kind of revisions. So I made a little package where you can add 3 videos for $75. That means you get basically $25 a piece. You can do 3 separate tracks. You can do 1 track with 3 revisions or 2 revisions and like 3 total edits. The idea is I want to make this really affordable so that you can continue getting the feedback you want as you make new tracks and get updates and get them done and ready for mastering. I feel it's weird that I feel bad about raising my prices. I don't feel bad about it. I just want to make sure that everybody can still be included and get the feedback and support they want. Other people are doing track feedback for $60 for a video or $100 a month for a 12-month subscription. And some of those are only one video. So I think this is a good balance of a price that'll help me devote time to it and something that'll allow you to continue doing them without, spending a bazillion dollars on it. Matt, yes, you missed the review on your hip hop beat. We did that last week. And you can check that in the replay from the 22nd, I believe. So this is the track feedback product. It is live, and the link is right here that I can pop over into Discord. Doink. And please let me know what you think about this. I always want to hear feedback if you think the price is too high, too low, or impossible. For what we're including here, I think it's a good deal. There's even a money-back guarantee. If you're a new person and you're not understanding what feedback is all about, if you sign up for this and you don't like what happens, look, I'll give you your money back. I'm not trying to rip people off. Most of the people watching understand. We've been doing track feedback for 4 years. We know what we're talking about, or I know what I'm talking about with the reviews, and I'm sure it's going to help you. So I'm confident about that. A couple more questions. If you have follow-up questions, that's where the learning happens. You'll have your own thread on Discord to ask questions about everything in the video and get answers from me. If you're not on Discord, yes, I can do your videos and deliver them by email, so it's completely private. No one's going to hear your music. I'm not going to share your music. It doesn't get uploaded anywhere else. It'll be a private, unlisted video, if that would help. Randy, what about one-to-one video with Zoom or Teams or feedback? Yes, actually, I have a product in development that will be a one-to-one video call. The next step I need to do is create an online scheduler so I can say, here are my slots for one-on-one video. Here's how you can book your time slot. It'll be a little more expensive, and we can do that as like a 30-minute thing. And thanks for the comments. I'll be putting that up like this weekend. I wanted to get this one thing done and visible. So that is the track feedback video review product, which is live right now. So let me go to Discord and I'll put news from Steve. Doink. Here's the link for track videos. You can hear me typing. Edit, 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 type, yay. So exciting. Doink, doink, doink. Okay, let's see what the preview looks like. Doesn't have a photo in it. I would go for that. All right, so thank you very much. One more time, track feedback video review is available for single review purchase, and the Discord subscription is going to go live on January 1st. That means everybody in track feedback is going to get locked out of the channels, and you have to subscribe again to get back in, to post your tracks, unlimited tracks, get your own threads, get timestamps, comments, and everything. We're going to do a weekly live stream because I love seeing everybody and hanging out. I'm not going to review every single track every single week. I'll try to focus on version 1 so we can hear the new music, and then the final versions when it's done. Those are going to be on video. The rest of it is going to be comments in writing with timestamps on Discord where I hang out, the moderators hang out. You know how that routine goes. So thanks for watching, everybody. This is the end of track feedback for 2022. We came in with, we started this whole thing in 2018 with 4 weekly posts in the Mixotexture feedback Facebook group where I thought, it's December. Let's see if anybody has new releases and see what happens with a weekly post. It was so popular. It was crazy. The group changed from like 250 people to 500 to 1,000. And we started doing weekly. It just got crazy big. And then it turned into weekly videos. And then it went from Facebook to Discord. And it just kept growing. So I'm really happy we're at a place right now where the community is solid. People know each other. We're helping each other's tracks. We see new releases coming out. I want to be completely involved in this. Share more of my own music, share some creative Ableton racks, hear your new ideas, and really pick out the production tips that help everybody make progress. That's what I like about the live streams. All right, Randy, thank you so much. Taib, thank you. Matt Schultz, see you over in 2023. Gonna wrap up that year now. Sweet and sour experience for me. See you guys. Have a great new year. Yeah, man, my 2022 was crazy. I did not expect it, but I ended up moving to Hawaii with this person I'm madly in love with, building a new studio. A lot of ups and downs. Me and other people in our community experienced some loss of our loved ones who have moved on to a new phase of energy or whatever you want to call the life and death experience. A lot of growth, a lot of change. Thanks everybody for being supportive and being with me and with us together on this. 2023 is going to be an awesome year. Remember, music is leadership. We set the vibe. and people come with us. Your music goes into people's lives. It's not just entertainment. It's not just something to watch on screen. It goes in your ears. It becomes part of your feeling. Your body literally vibrates with the sound. So we can put people forward and have a much bigger impact than you might realize right now. Sometimes one track can change somebody's life. And that's what I want you to remember. So get out there, have fun on New Year's, take pictures, take video, let us know where you're at. I want to see some shots and enjoy it with you from a distance. Again, thanks so much, and thanks to our moderators. I'll see you in 2023. Peace out, everybody.